Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. How are you guys doing? I am feeling like Julian here, still gassed from the UCL. Even though it was a draw, as Mourinho said when Inter lost against Barcelona away, remember all those years ago, the triplete year, he said, "This is the most beautiful loss of my career." That draw, that's what that draw feels like. It feels like a really beautiful draw. It feels like a win. But we're slowly starting to come down from it, but I'm still in those highs. Definitely feeling the highs from that match. How are you guys? How are you guys feeling? And let me give a shout out to everyone that's in the house today for this stream. Actually, guys, I was gonna do this stream like an hour later, maybe, but because I wanted to watch Juventus Torino, I was like, the Turin derby. Maybe we see Allegri getting sacked or something. But that match was so bad. I mean, Juric's teams can really do that. Some people, yeah, they put together the high pressing of Torino, Juric, the style of play as a exciting or attractive brand of football. But no, like you've seen when Torino play Inter, like those matches are so dreary. They just become duels, 1v1, just like physical. Not much can happen, and not much is happening. I don't know. Second half might be, but I'm not going through that again. So I am here to talk about Inter versus Salernitana with you guys. So let me see who is in the house. Nikola, of course, Serbian boy. Of course, you'll be watching Vlahovic and Kostic. Vlahovic was actually denied by his Serbian goalkeeper teammate from the Serbian national team, Milinkovic Savic, obviously not Sergej, his brother Vanya. Christian Potato in the house. Yes, I hope as well. Just like my last live stream coincided with the Maccabi Haifa. Remember the last preview we did? I was doing my live stream preview with you guys, and you guys were telling me like 1-0 Maccabi Haifa, 2-0 Maccabi Haifa. I was like, this, and I was like, surely this is the end of Allegri, but it wasn't. Agnelli came out and said, nope, he's not going anywhere, and he's still there, which is a good thing. For Serie A and for us Inter fans for sure, continuing to watch Juve suffer. King Dorian in the house, what's up, brother? Mattia Jovic, of course, in the house, what's up, brother? Eduardito, yes, what's up, brother? Matteo in the house, yes, Mattia always doing a better job than me reminding people. Thank you very much. Hey, Inter Forever, my boy George in the house. I think I got a gift to the sub. Yeah, my boy Bin Veto, bro. I don't know who, because it doesn't show me on StreamYard. It's annoying. It doesn't show me when that was happening. But Bin Veto, one of the OGs of the channel, he was after the Barca game. He was going crazy, gifting subs left, right, and center. I think he gifted like 20 channel subs or channel membership. So shout out to him. And yeah, you've become one of the members of the channel. So shouts out to you as well. Been watching Bare Inter content. Yeah, man, we've been feasting on that Barella content. That man of the match performance. Well, UCL giving man of the match anyway. And obviously, I posted that little Barella versus Gavi video, getting a couple of, I knew that was going to get some views. I think it's got 6K views already, which for my channel is loads. Hey, Niek, what's up? How life is good? Life is good, bro. We are good. We are interested in that. Yeah, that's the guy I've put in the thumbnail, Mazzocchi. We're gonna talk about him later. About the UCL, the job's not done with Jacoby's voice. Yeah, 100%, 100%. You guys know if you were on my stream after the Barca game with Mo. Mo was completely confident, but I am part of the mentally, emotionally damaged Inter fans that I still can't believe that, I don't have faith in Inter doing a job, without any fuss, without any issues against Victoria Pilsen. But I'm sure they will, but I can't like just be relaxed about that. The job still needs to be completed. Hey Ahmad, yeah, the tide definitely feels like it's changing now. Definitely. I mean, compare it to a few weeks ago when everything was going wrong. Inzaghi out. Even I was, coming onto the, as a Inzaghi defender, I was starting to be Inzaghi out, but things are definitely changing now, and I'm happy to see it, man. I'm happy to see it. But the Serie A situation definitely is not looking good still. We still need to turn that situation around. We need to continue churning out 3 points because we need to move up the table. Bremer got subbed. Oh, I don't know. Is that injury or something? Not sure. Yeah, I can't believe in Max Allegri's. I'm guessing you're talking about Max as in Allegri. Yeah, if you guys remember when Conte left, the two main guys that were, rumored and, made sense were Allegri and Inzaghi. And I wanted, my other guy was Sal. But I was like, Allegri's out there available, probably in terms of, trophies, and in terms of currently, I thought this guy is the best, Italian manager out there available, big mentality, handles big dressing rooms, big club, winning mentality, get this guy in and knows how to manage a team after Conte. But yeah, this, honestly, I said it last year, he was my biggest disappointment of Serie, even though obviously I enjoy Juve's demise, but to me, he was my biggest disappointment last year. And this year is even worse. Like, this guy is completely, looks like he's been left behind in the dust. Yeah, Per shows looks like a very interesting player. What's up, Ian, in the house? How was my birthday? It was good. It was good. Of course, Inter made it better, but I had a nice little birthday dinner. But yeah, I don't really do much. I'm not a big celebrations type of guy, low key, but it was nice. And obviously, as I said, Inter made it much better. Yeah, Gagliardini is out of the Salernitana match, by the way. I'm sure Eduardo is saying it with sarcasm, but yeah, Gagliardini won't be part of this match. So it's a shame, because he's useful against these lower end teams for sure. But yeah, he's having some injury issues, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I think it was 40 subscriptions. Jesus, yeah. It doesn't really show. I think I need to go check afterwards, but I can't really see because he's gifted them, so they don't come through to me as they normally would. But yeah, he was going mad. I wait for El Clasico. Yes, of course. In El Clasico, we'll be supporting Real Madrid, as now we are full-time anti-Barcelona. But yeah, tomorrow that will be after the Inter match, so that would definitely be a nice post-Inter game watch. Hopefully, Inter don't ruin our day. Other than any Inter fans that are not mentally scarred. Yeah, but I mean, you saw Mo on my stream. He looked like he's never. I mean, he's been watching Inter longer than me, and he was completely, no scarring by the looks of him. But I think a lot of us are like that. But there are definitely some that are not that mentally scarred as us, I would say. Oh, here we got some Dutch-speaking people in the house, I guess, in here. Yeah, Lukaku. We'll talk about Lukaku, but I've talked about it on I've commented on Twitter. Like, I think as a combination of things, obviously Inter. Actually, yeah, let me bring up. Let's talk about the big Rom stuff, because it's getting, I see like people are starting with conspiracy theories and stuff about why he's missing, why he could be. My view on this is the usual type of thing when injuries, like people try to use this as like a science that a player is injury. So yeah, here we've got a Sky Sport Italy made a graph about the matches that Lukaku has missed in his career up until now, over the years, and you can see progressively, like, if you're Everton, he never even missed a game at Everton those 2 years when he was lean, mean machine. Then United, this injury issue started, and obviously at Inter, he was an absolute machine. He barely, Conte barely rested this guy, and he still was hardly ever injured. Obviously probably Pintus, probably the Conte training methods, or just him being motivated, or whatever it was, the diet, but luck as well. The luck as well, guys. Like, it's also luck involved in not being part of any dirty tackles, or not putting your foot down wrong after going up for a header. Those little innocuous things that can happen. But then last season we saw at Chelsea, we talked about it when this was already the most injuries he's had, and he missed 7 matches. But then this season he already has missed 9. But there's also, it's a little bit skewed, because I don't know if football's ever had this much this many fixtures all put together in such a short period of time. Of course, we know because of the World Cup coming. So that figure there is a little bit skewed, because it's not the longest amount of time, probably, or it might be. We can check actually on Transfermarkt if that is longest amount of time. But because we've had so many, we've played every week. We're playing 2 games a week, so that means that the games have added up more than they usually would. So let's have a look in terms of length of injuries. If this probably is, because he's still not back, so it probably is the longest injury he's ever had in terms of length of time out. Oh, my internet is being transfer market is down by the looks of it. Great timing. Oh, beautiful. Is there another way to check people's injuries? I don't know. I only know about transfer market. I don't think there's other better websites. No, it looks like Transfermarkt is down. But yeah, I mean, it's too early to call him a flop. We're still that's the thing with the way the season is split. There's literally it's not even half the season by the time we get done with the World Cup. It's not even halfway through. The Champions League group stage is done, but we're still not halfway through the Serie A. So there's still plenty of time. But for now, definitely is not worked out. This deal is definitely not worked out. But in going back to the question whether I think he's saving himself for the World Cup, I think it's a combination of things where it's not him. He's not been cleared by the Inter's medical team yet. So they're going to do a scan on Monday, a final scan to determine whether he's ready. He's not come back to group training. He's been training still on his own, and he's back to training with the ball. But it's they haven't given him the all clear. So the Inter's medical team are being extra careful with him. Quite rightly, because it looks like either they underestimated the original injury, or he aggravated the the original injury, so he made it worse, and then now it delayed his comeback. So for me, it's one of those two things. Either the original injury was worse than they feared, because they were talking about even coming back against Roma, Barcelona, or even the last game against Sassuolo, but he hasn't. And now even the Salernitana game, he's going to miss. This was I think even the longer original diagnosis said, longest, worst case scenario was Salernitana game, but now he's even missing the Salernitana game. So yeah, I think it's a combination of things, of them being safe with him. I don't think it's up to Lukaku in terms of deciding when to come back to group training. But obviously, he's going to be wanting. He's not going to risk it for the World Cup, 100%. But yeah, no, I think he is. I think he is hungry to prove himself. I think we've seen that. I think the beginning of the season. But I think even he probably actually pushed himself probably too hard. I think some people are saying that probably he was trying to come back too quickly, perhaps. And then he's pushed himself too much, and then now he re-aggravated the injury. So that's probably one of the scenarios as well. But yeah, he's I think it's too early to call on whether he's a flop or he's not hungry or he's dusted at this level. But the worries that we had in terms of without Pintus, without Conte, those are kind of coming true at the moment. But again, it's down to luck as well. It's like like over the years, he's not even like last year at Chelsea, but these are not like that bad of injuries. It's luck as well. How when we signed Correa had a history of injuries, but never that serious. Like when you go back to Correa's injury history, but Transfermarkt is down, so we can't even look at that. Let me try again. Let's see if Transfermarkt is back up working. No, still not loading up. But even when we signed Correa, he had injury histories, and he had the worst season of his career at Inter in terms of injuries. And then the same time, we were supposed to sign, as Moby says here about Marcus Thuram. We were supposed to sign Marcus Thuram before he was ahead of Correa in terms of we had pretty much an agreed deal for around 20 million. But it fell through because he got a serious injury. And then last season he finished with 0 goals, 0 assists. Duvan Zapata, another guy we were interested in, he got injured for most of the season. He was not a particularly injury-prone player throughout his career, but last season he had his worst season. He was out for like 4 months with a serious injury. You can't predict these things. Belotti, we were also heavily linked with Belotti. Belotti had an awful year with injuries last year at Torino. He was out for like more than pretty much half the season he was out. You can't predict these things. It's just you can say, I'm sure some people are saying like they predicted it, they saw that he was dusted at Chelsea, fair enough. But to me, it's just difficult to like really pin down. I think Dybala is the same thing. Dybala, he had this he has a history. We know that he's injury prone, but he had, in compared to Lukaku, he's been more fit. But now we saw the other day, took a penalty, got injured taking a penalty. That's part of his history. Missed out. He's the second injury actually for Dybala already. He missed the Atalanta game where they lost to Roma. But the timing of the injury was good because it was just before the international break. Whereas Lukaku now, his timing of injury was so bad for us because it was literally just as he was getting started, which we know he takes him longer to get started because of his physique, just takes him longer, his engine to get going. So that was awful timing for us and him. And then our busiest period, all of our Champions League matches, he's missed all of our Champions League clashes, pretty much all the important ones. We missed our big matches as well in Serie A. So the timing was awful as well. But it's just, it's difficult. It's difficult to predict all these things. George says exactly too early to tell. Now that we are doing well, let's take our time to make sure when Lukaku comes back is the real Lukaku. No need to force now. Exactly. I hope they don't force him now. Like, just try to ease him back in. We still got plenty of games before we break up, so we still have plenty of games. So now, next up we have, obviously he's missing Salernitana, so let's say he comes back at least on the bench or a substitute appearance against Fiorentina. Then maybe he could play against Pilsen. Then we have Sampdoria, we got Bayern, we got Juve, we got Bologna, we got Atalanta. So yeah, there's potentially. So let's say if he comes back as a sub for Fiorentina and then he's ready to start, he's potentially got still 6 games to play before the World Cup to start. If he doesn't obviously aggravate his injury or get injured again, but touch wood, he doesn't. So there's still plenty of time, plenty of games for him to take part in. So yeah, I think it's too early to call him a flop or say he's dusted, but obviously at the moment is not looking good at all. Yes, Eduardo, thank you for reminding everyone. Is Salernitana man going to score tomorrow? Yes, I think so. The aggravation theory is likely. Yeah, I think that's what I am. I'm probably going with that because they're, it was a thigh strain from what the diagnosis was, and that is like depending on the grade, 3 to 4 weeks. But now we're getting way above that. We're going to be above 50 days of him missing interaction. I think we're too emotional in bringing him back. We should have looked at other young alternatives. Yeah, but you know what it is. He was available, and I was on the train. I think most of the Inter fans were on the train. We had to be. We couldn't go for Scamacca. We couldn't go for the expensive young alternative. We had to go for these. He was available. Chelsea is still paying his fee to us. So I know we paid 12 million for his loan, but they probably paid more than that in just the yearly. I think whatever they're paying in 3 years or 4 years, the 100 million that they're paying to us. It is what it is. An expensive loan, but I was for it. I was all for it. Obviously, at the moment, it's not worked out, but that's football. Lazaro looking class, yeah. It's some nice dribbles, but also some shaky moments. But it's definitely probably the best loan spell that he's had since we've been sending him out on loan. Let's do this deal. I'm feeling a 3-0 win. Yes, thank you, Harry. I'll start this for later on when we talk about match predictions. So he's saying the next play we look the same. We'll get injured too, huh? Yeah. I'm just saying you can't predict these things. You just can't predict these things. You can buy a player with 0 injury history. Like if we look at Marcus Thuram's injury history, if bloody transfer mark was working, I could show you guys. But you look at a guy, nope, still down. But if you look at a guy's injury history, it's completely clean, and then he signs for Inter. Like you can't predict it. And you look at someone like Edin Dzeko, guys. Edin Dzeko's 37, and he just keeps churning out games. Even when he looks like last year when we overplayed him, he still wasn't getting injured. Like this guy's. His body, his physique just keeps going. And you had someone like Alexis Sanchez, we saw as well. Like Alexis used to go, whenever he used to go for Chile international break, he used to get injured. It was like, oh God, this guy, Correa, this guy, he's can't. And now Sensi's as Monza, and looks like he's finally being, playing regularly. Like there's no exact science to this. There's definitely obviously injury prone players. I I definitely believe that there are injury prone players, and there's like players that are, that can maintain themselves and be available pretty much 99% of the time. But then there's just some factors. It's a contact sport. You never know in training or in game, or like something can happen. Yeah, I agree, Eduardo. I think Aslani definitely deserves a start, because after that, his miss, I hope Inzaghi throws him straight back in and he can make up for it. Ian Kerr says some transparency from the club or Rom himself on injury would be nice. I mean, I've never seen players commenting on their injuries or giving injuries updates, or that the aggravation in the theory for me is true because of also, if you remember a few weeks ago, he posted like a panther, or was it like a Black Panther image and a clock ticking, like talking about coming back soon. And then he hasn't done anything like that since. So that shows to me that there was a point that probably he thought he was coming back soon, and then something happened probably in training. But I've never, remember when Sensi used to get injured, was the club doesn't release statements just because it's because it's Lukaku, give him extra special treatment. But yeah, obviously we would like to know exactly what's going on, but I don't remember a player or the club releasing extra statements apart from the original diagnosis statement. Yeah, of course we need Lukaku. We need Lukaku back, and especially at the moment where Correa is back from his injury, but we definitely he's not going to be fully fit either. So we need all of our 4 strikers to be back. So Correa is back in training, full training. He'll be called up to the squad. Probably won't start, but he'll be able to make at least a substitute appearance tomorrow, which is good. Because we're way too short up front at the moment. So we need numbers, and we know that what happens when you overplay Edin Dzeko. We can't let that happen again, where Dzeko does well, but then we know his legs just can't handle this kind of busy period. Lautaro is one of those examples of guys that barely ever gets injured. This guy is just like always even now, like coming back from Argentina duty, there was rumors that he had that muscular fatigue. He admitted himself that he was a doubt for the first Barcelona game. Then he played against Sassuolo. Then he played again against Barcelona. Like, this guy is just this is a complete machine. Oh, Juve goal! Damn it! These guys who scored. Vlahovic. Wow, man, that guy. If this Juve team was good, that guy would be easily running away with the Capocannoniere. Damn it. That is annoying. So that means they go up ahead of us again in the table at the moment, Juve. Yeah, they've gone ahead of us again in the table, Juve, by 1 point. So we definitely need to be. We can't be below this Juve. We can't be below this Juve. We need to continue churning out points. Juve scored undeserved. Damn it. Yeah. I mean, as I was saying, it's too early. I think let's see how things develop. Transfer market is back up. Okay, let's try it again then. If it's back up. No, still not working for me. So maybe it's just my still saying sorry. We're having a flat. But yeah, anyway, we're past that point now. We talked about it. Gianluca, amazing this channel with foreign Inter supporters. Yes, thank you very much. I'm guessing you're Italian. Yeah, we speak about Inter in Italian, about Serie A in Italian. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Thank you very much. Leave a thumbs up. What do I think of Alessandro Fontana Rosa? Yeah, we spoke about him at the beginning of the preseason. I don't really see much there, to be honest. He was only there to make up numbers in the summer. Inzaghi himself said he wasn't even a starter for the Primavera last year. Physically looks, obviously he's only young, so he's probably going to grow into his body, but he looks like he's got like a nice left foot, which obviously is rare for centre backs. But yeah, I don't really see much there. Maybe he proves me wrong in the future. If Lautaro, bro, why would you do that to me? Oh, that would be crazy. And that my jinx level would be crazy if Lautaro gets injured now. Random by Captain Skamaka this weekend, so forth to West Ham. Yep. He's starting to do well. So probably a good choice, captaining Scammy, Johnny Scams. Corner headed to the second post, Vlahovic with the touch. Yeah, of course, it was going to be something stupid and, nothing nice. Yes, we were together in a Bergomi's live. Congratulations again. Nice. Yeah, Fabio Bergomi, of course, one of the Inter YouTube OGs. I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to get Fabio to do a live with me, like in English. Even if he speaks broken English, it'd be nice to try get Fabio Bergomi on the channel. But yeah, he doesn't reply to me. I don't care about Juve. Let's go into 3 points. Yeah, I know, but it's still embarrassing if we're behind this bad, like how bad this bad Juve is, and we're behind them. And I always care about Juve, man. But obviously, yeah, full focus on Inter. Let's move on to the preview for the match tomorrow, guys. Oh my God, how good is our fan base? Sellout for Salernitana and Victoria Pilsen already pretty much confirmed. As Gazzetta says, Inter do not hold the record this season for the highest number of spectators in Serie A. That is held by AC Milan, where the home average has been 72,000. But I think with these next few matches, with the new, excitement and hype building up finally now, with the form building up, I think we'll take them over again. So shouts out to Inter fans all around the world, filling that stadium always. What else can we talk about? Oh yeah, I picked out this. Denzel Dumfries was on a podcast, I think yesterday, on a Dutch podcast. Look, always happy, always smiling. Oh, Denzel, isn't he? So he was speaking to Dutch football podcast, Decor podcast. And yeah, they asked him about a few stuff about Inter. So let's see some of the quotes. So he says, Dumfries was full of praise for the enduring quality that the former Roma striker Dzeko brings. So he says Edin Dzeko, regardless of his age, is on another level. Some of the balls he can play are just ridiculous. Then he gives some praise to Arturo Vidal. He continued that Vidal is someone who's very strong in the challenge. It's his way of being Vidal. We know what he means by that. And then seeing Alexis Sanchez play is just absurd. He was always the best in training. I can imagine that for sure. Alexis Sanchez, great professional, great, mentality, winner mentality. I'm sure that he was always killing it in training. We definitely miss Alexis. And then he talks about the help that De Vrij gave him to adjust to Inter. Said that I'm lucky to have him as a teammate. We can see that, of course, De Vrij seems like a great guy. I came to the club where he's at, and luckily we're close. Now in the locker room, I sit next to Lukaku and Aslani. And then he speaks about a funny story from his very first day in training with Inter. He calls it a total scandal or a disaster, I guess. Shouts out to Sempre Inter and their pod, by the way. I went to the hotel, to the training center. So he's talking about his first day. And you know me, I'm a total professional. And then when I arrived, I looked in my bag and saw that I had brought 2 left boots. And I thought, oh my God, how the hell would you do that? How would you bring 2 left boots? I mean, I'm not going to make the joke, but I'm sure there are some people out there who would say that Dumfries has 2 left feet anyway, so maybe he needs 2 left boot anyway. But I didn't make the joke. I'm saying that someone would make that joke, so it wasn't me. But yeah, all jokes aside, you can see that he's a good character, good dressing room character, good mentality. I always say he's limited, technically and stuff like that. But I really like Dumfries, as a person, as a player at Inter for sure. There's nothing I can moan about. Good thing he didn't bring his Timberlands. Well, again, some people might say he did, and he's playing with Timberlands a lot of the games. But again, it wasn't me who said that. It wasn't. I didn't say Tim Freeze. That was you, Ahmed. That was you. Jan Karamo has come off for Torino. Look lively. Wow, that guy, crazy. He wasn't banter era. He was just after the banter era, but he kind of almost feels like a banter era player. What do I think of Raul Bellanova? Yeah, I like him, and I hope he gets more chances moving forward. Maybe even this Salernitana game, to be honest. He had made a good impact. Yes, he lost Lewandowski for the goal, for the 3-3 goal. But yeah, like that's harsh on him to if you blame him on that. We had a few nice moments when he came on as a substitute against Barca. Even against Roma, we saw, he's one of the few players in this team with real pace, real kind of, I'm not going to say he's a good dribbler, but actual, like, at least 1v1 tendencies, or like actually at least try to take on the man to get the cross past him. Again, he's not the most technical player either, but he had something a bit different. So I hope we see more of Bellanova as the season goes on now, because I think he is starting to show Inzaghi his ability. But I guess Inzaghi still probably doesn't trust him defensively and experience-wise, as it usually is. Dumfries stone face, yes, you know what it is. Godzilla King, what's up, brother? And we're worried is that with Lukaku is that if he goes to the World Cup and this injury gets even serious. Yeah, of course. And there's so many different potential things that can go wrong. Speaking of Leva, did you see what Xavi told his team at halftime? He told them to run back. Yes, I saw that. I'm probably going to make a short video of that and upload it on my YouTube for that. Yeah, of course. That's the thing about Onana. We talked about it, man. It's not just the shot stopping with Onana, it's the ball playing ability. This is not just gassing him up because we have him and overhyping him, but he's just with his feet, probably a top 5 goalkeeper in Europe, in terms of he's coming from the Barcelona school, the Ajax school. He knows, he's very, very comfortable with his feet. He's got pings with the ball, like if he launches it with his hands or with his feet from the floor. Like, just talking about, I'm not talking about overall ability, but just with his feet, this guy probably is top 5 goalkeeper in Europe with the ball at his feet. So he is adding a different dimension to our game. What I think would be the result, Barcelona, Bayern? I don't know. It depends what team Bayern put out. If Bayern put out like a B team, because they already feel like the group is already done, then it'll probably be like potentially they could lose or draw that game. But the thing is, we play before that game, I think, so it might be already decided by then. If we do our job, then it wouldn't even matter what happens in that game. Yeah, they are getting to a banter era, but if they win again today, then they go back over us. So if this is their banter era, it's not too bad, to be honest. I still think people are not overreacting, but still people are underestimating. Like, Juve's squad to me is still really good. If they just get their act together and a few players come back, they're still going to be challenging for top 4, and they can always put a run together like they did last season. Last year they looked like they were missing top 4 until January. Then they blow Vlahovic, they bought Zakaria, and then they got top 4. If they just pull their act together, obviously the Champions League looks like it's dusted, but again, that gives them the energy to just focus on Serie A again. But hopefully they go into Europa League and still have that extra games to play in Europa League. Lautaro, he needs a rest 100%. Like, he's playing games now that he shouldn't be playing because he needs a rest. And he's getting full 90 minutes now. This season, we can't moan about Lautaro not getting full 90 minutes. Remember, last season, we used to moan that Inzaghi subs him out at the 70th minute. He never 75th minute, always subs him out. But this season, he's been playing 90 minutes back after game after game after game. So, yeah, it is concerning. But at the same time, let's churn out everything we can from this guy before the World Cup, and then he's Argentina's to handle. Let's get everything out of him before the World Cup. Yeah, of course, Ahmed. We are all Hala Madrid tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. Their banter era is failing to make top 4, but it's clearly nowhere near what our. I think it's, if you compare banter eras, even right now, some Juve fans will say that even last season, that was their banter era, even though they finished top 4, but no trophies. For Juve, that's probably already a banter era. So it's, comparison points are different, whereas we know what a real banter era looks like. We know the darkness, the real dark moments that we've been through. My goodness. But anyway, let's move on properly finally to the match preview for tomorrow. And there's something weird going on the Sky Sport Italy website, guys. There's something, because I checked it earlier and it wasn't this. What is going on here? Why why have they put Carboni starting at Regista? There's something wrong, because when I checked it a few hours ago, there was 100%. There was Aslani in there, and they put Valentin Carboni in there. So there's something that's gone wrong. Something has gone wrong at the Sky Sport HQ in Italy, because this was not the predicted lineup from earlier. So let's ignore this, because it's definitely not going to be Carboni starting at Regista. And it was Hakan over Mkhitaryan as well, which I think is probably going to be that. And it was Gosens over Di Marco. So I think this, I don't know, seems iffy. It seems iffy. So I'm going to move. So today's, I'm going to look at the Gazzetta one, because this one doesn't convince me. But most important thing, Onana is still starting in both of them. Onana is still starting. So as we said, that Sassuolo game, I think, was the turning point of the Onana Handanovic situation. It looks like Onana has completed the takeover. He has taken over the spot from Handanovic, which is good. And I hope Inzaghi sticks with that. I hope he doesn't revert. I hope he doesn't, even if he makes a mistake, you have to continue with Onana now. You have to stick with it. But yeah, backline, Skriniar, Acerbi, Bastoni, whereas here is Skriniar, De Vrij, Acerbi. Yeah, I would lean more to this, to be honest. I would lean more to having Acerbi. I like the rotation between De Vrij and Acerbi, between Champions League and Serie A. I would continue with Bastoni. And I would obviously, I would even be tempted to start D'Ambrosio to give Skriniar a rest, but obviously we don't want to change too much. And maybe you can bring on D'Ambrosio if the result becomes good. So, yeah, I'm hoping that it's more like this Gazzetta lineup. Oh, yeah, shout out to the Inter women winning the derby 4-0, the Milan derby. So that's very good to see. No, he's not injured. He's not injured. Don't worry, Mattia. I think, as I said, there's something gone wrong, because obviously even if he was injured, it wouldn't be Carboni. That's not Carboni's position. So it wouldn't be that anyway. Acerbi at left back scares me. Well, you probably mean left centre back, but yeah, that really is his position. Most of his time at Lazio he played as left centre back, so it doesn't really scare me too much there. But we've seen he's definitely, especially with his aging legs now, he's definitely better in the middle of the three. Yeah, Onana's charisma as well. He's got that's just reloaded, but he's got charisma as well. Like if you guys saw his post-match interview after Barcelona, I posted it on my Twitter. Like he was, he's got no filter. I really like it. He's got no filter. He just says it how it is. I saw him at Ajax. He's the same. He doesn't look like he's media trained or something. Like he just says what's in his heart, on his mind. After the Barcelona game, he was asked by the lady who was interviewing him on Amazon Prime Italy. She said, oh, you were very mature, you were very calm, and you look like you got a lot of experience, and he just got like, I'm not sure whether because he's in Spanish, and someone corrected me and said he wasn't annoyed about that. He said it doesn't annoy me, the experience part, but he was like pointing the fact that I've played over 300 games. He's got lots of Champions League caps under his belt. Like, I'm experienced. I'm ready to step in. Like, we shouldn't talk about this guy as if he's young. He's young for a goalkeeper, but he's already got plenty of experience. So, yeah. Exactly. We've been saying that for a while, Nicola, for a few seasons. Thank you for your service, Handanovic, but it's time to rest and be on the bench. Yeah, we'll rest one of the strikers, definitely Eduardo, but I don't think Correa is ready to start. He's only just come back from his injury. So we just don't really have the option. And Mkhitaryan as well. Mkhitaryan would be my option to start up front, but again, Mkhitaryan probably needs some rotation and rest as well. He's 33. He had a very intense match against Barca. And yeah, surely Robin Gosens has to start. He's starting here. He was starting in the predicted lineup from Sky Sport. I don't know what's happened to them. Let's see the sport media set lineups. So let's have a look at the third one, see what they're saying. Yeah, so they have the same as Gazzetta. So it looks like it will be more the Gazzetta type lineup. So Gosens, Hakan returning to the Mezzala position, Aslani, Barella, Dumfries. So yeah, I hope, a lot of people have talked about that Gosens goal being maybe his Ericsson moment, Ericsson versus Milan, that free kick against Milan that turned Ericsson's career around. Could that be Gosens' Ericsson moment? But at the same time, there was a different situation with the Ericsson. There was that. I think there was Brozovic was suspended or injured for that. For the Coppa Italia game. So Ericsson had to play. And then obviously that position was up for grabs in Antonio Conte's Inter. Vecino, Gagliardini weren't. Vecino was injured. Gagliardini obviously is Gagliardini. So that position was up for grabs. Here, it is up for grabs, the left wing back position. But it's like Di Marco is doing pretty well. But I don't think he's doing as well as some people are saying. I don't think he's undroppable. I think, as I keep saying since the beginning of the season, you have to give this guy 3, 4, 5 games in a row. And then we can finally make a decision, say this guy was a flop, this guy doesn't fit Inzaghi's football, this guy doesn't fit, let's sell him. We can't give him the final decision on this guy without seeing him. Ashwin Korea was a late substitute. No, I don't mean like as in that game, Ashwin. I mean as in like after that game, there was moments where Ericsson, there was that Coppa Italia game against Fiorentina that he started. There was other moments that he started the Benevento game as a regista from the beginning. So there was moments that we was able to actually get game time. But yeah, in that game specifically, he was a late sub, just like Gosens was in the Barcelona game. Juve won. Damn it. Yeah, but no, that's good. At least Allegri continues. That means Allegri continues. So it's bad, but also good. That means that Allegri continues. Oh yeah, Brozovic. Oh, this guy is hilarious. He's doing his recovery post. Let me see if I can find it. Probably Alessandro on Twitter probably has that picture. Yeah, he has it. Let me share my screen. Of course, you got to follow this guy. Yeah, so you see Sky Sport actually have the same lineup as well. Oh no, actually they have a Cherby and De Vrij. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either if Bastoni needs it. We know Bastoni is a bit frail physically. And obviously we know Inzaghi doesn't seem to always trust him. But I'd rather continue with Bastoni and then rotate De Vrij. Yeah, there is Brozovic recovery Instagram story. This guy is hilarious. Goku in the recovery in that recovery tank vibes. But yeah, so same with Lukaku. Brozovic is gonna have a scan done early next week to determine whether how long he's gonna be out, or can he come back to light training or whatever. Allegri in. Oh yeah, and he gave Conte no choice but to keep it. Yeah, of course, he finally started to understand what Conte wanted out of him after that period as well. 100% Maximus. We want Allegri to stay, especially how he's doing right now. Yeah, of course. That's what I mean. I don't like as well. Like, we're giving credit. I saw people were giving credit to Andanovic for apparently he did like a speech before the Sassuolo game about handing over the gloves to Onana, saying that he has. But he's the captain. He's the club captain. That's the bare minimum I expect from my club captain. Like, that's the bare minimum. A guy with so much experience, been through thick and thin at Inter. He's the longest serving player at Inter currently. Club captain, as I said, like, that's the bare minimum I expect to. I don't expect him to be putting up a hissy fit behind the scenes. So yeah, okay, we can praise him for that, but I would expect nothing less. Yeah, exactly. So you should be doing the same, Nicola. Yeah, let's talk about that. Good question, or good point, Mattia. Like I've always talked about that. If you guys remember, I always said we were over exaggerating the Brozovic thing last season. I said like the Sassuolo game when Brozovic was missing. I went back and said, show me in these goals that we've conceded. We lost. What was it? 3-1 was it? We lost to Sassuolo, whatever it was. 2-1. Like, show me in these goals that we conceded that where would Brozovic help in any of these situations? Like, where in these, especially counter-attacking situations, Brozovic's legs cannot, cover ground like that anyway. He's not that type of guy. The Torino game was the one where I'm like, you can see the build-up was suffering. We had bloody Vecino playing there. But yeah, Hakan last season, Hakan played in the regista position against Fiorentina and he did decent. That's why I was, in favor of Hakan playing there against Barcelona, both these games. So with Brozovic, I don't think it's we made like, I think we exaggerated because there was a coincidence that at the same time that Brozovic was out, we lost those games. But as you know, Hakan, you saw he can step in, and I think Aslani is the same. I think Aslani, give him time, and I think would be fine. Brozovic is like, you need him when we have a lot of the ball, especially the Barcelona games where we don't have a lot of the ball. Actually, probably Hakan probably does it because he's a little bit more. We know Brozovic. He's got so much. He runs around so much, probably more than he needs to be, and he goes pressing. He goes to press this guy. He goes to press that guy. So he's very active all around. Whereas Hakan, he's especially how Inter were playing, a lot more positional. He didn't leave any gaps going, so he was a bit more disciplined. With Brozovic, he can go left, right, and center sometimes. And yeah, of course, Hakan deserves 100% good praise for that. As Ahmad knows, especially because he's Hakan FC. Hakan is not one of my favorite players in this team. I don't like Hakan as a player. I don't think I ever will like Hakan as a player. But just as he did last season, to me, he was a top 5 Inter player last season in terms of performance, in terms of consistency. He had a dip in that January-February period when the whole team had a dip as well. But to me, he's not. But that's the thing. To me, he's not a number 10. He's got number 10 tattooed on him. I think he thinks of himself as a number 10. But I think his future is in deeper lying position. I think he should, know that he's not a number 10. He doesn't have that final ball. He doesn't have a through ball. He doesn't have like that, dribbling ability in spaces. He's not good at turning with pressure behind him. He's good when he faces the game. When he sees the field. He's not good when he has to receive the ball between the lines, has to turn, getting pressure behind him. He's not good at that. So I hope he realizes that and embraces that. And that's why he also does good as that second regista in that left center mid position, where Barella is the one that goes up more. And that left center mid is the one that usually helps Brozo a bit more. So yeah, 100% Hakan stepped up, and I hope that doesn't end, Aslani's chances when Brozovic is missing, because I don't want Aslani's playing time to be cut down, because Inzaghi has already said he only sees him as a regista. So I don't want Aslani's time being cut from the regista position if Inzaghi only sees him as a regista. Yeah, no, 100%. I'm not saying we weren't falling apart, but I'm saying that it was exaggerated in terms of we didn't need a Brozovic in terms of being there, but we just needed someone else to be there. But it wasn't. People were saying that no Brozovic, no Inter. It was just that we didn't have the right substitute. Inzaghi was pushing Vecino in there against Torino, and obviously we didn't have Aslani last year. But like against Roma, Aslani, I didn't miss Brozovic either in that game, and Aslani was the one who played in the Roma game. So we obviously that was the reason we signed Aslani. We have finally a vice Brozovic. But again, I feel like it was a little bit exaggerated last year, Inter without Brozovic. But going back to the predicted lineups, yeah, I'm happy. This is the lineup I want to see. The Gazzetta and the Sport Media set. Up front, as we said, no options. Dumfries, let me know your thoughts on Dumfries. Should it be Dumfries? Should it be Darmian? Should it be Bellanova? Comment below. I think Dumfries. He played against Sassuolo, played well. Played against Barcelona, played well. Obviously, apart from some decision making, but he did play well, regardless of any agendas you may have against Dumfries. So he probably does need a bit of rotation. I'm leaning towards Bellanova, to be honest. If it isn't against the likes of Salernitana, Spezia, Cremonese, Lecce, like who else is it going to be against? We've played against Lecce, Cremonese, Spezia now, so we're not playing those teams until the second half of the season. So when else are you going to give Bellanova game time? Yeah, so it looks like you guys are also in agreement. Love from Bangladesh. Thank you, Mejba. I appreciate that. We are brothers of the world. There are people from all over the place on my channel supporting Inter. So yeah, very nice to see that. I don't think I've ever met a Bangladeshi or a Bengali Inter supporter. So shouts out to you. How did you start to support Inter? That's an interesting one. Comment, Mejba, about how you started supporting Inter. I'll be interested to find out. I just contracted eye cancer after watching Juve Torino. Yeah, as I said, Victor, you maybe missed the beginning of my stream. I was watching the Juve Torino game, and I was going to do my stream after the Torino Juve game. But I watched it till halftime. I was like, I am not watching this, and I'm glad. I didn't want to watch Juve winning that anyway. So yeah, that is Inter's lineup. That is more than good enough to win this game. Moving on to the Salernitana lineup. Let's see if it's looking more proper here. Yeah, looks like the normal lineup. So Sepe in goal, decent goalkeeper. Lovato coming back. He's on loan from Atalanta, Lovato, and he's starting on both predicted lineups. So it'll be interesting. I don't particularly rate him, but a lot of people rate him, young Italian centre back. So you guys keep a lookout for him and let me know your thoughts post match on Lovato. Obviously Candreva as post ex Inter player, you have to keep a lookout for Candreva. Always dangerous, but you can see now that he's finally, starting to wind down. He's not as good as he was at Sampdoria. And yeah, as people have been pointing out, and I'll put him as the thumbnail, Pasquale Mazzocchi got called up to the Italian national team right here, the left wing back. And Inter were also linked with him in the newspapers. I don't know how much credence I want to give to that, how much truth there is to that. But he's an interesting player. But he's a bit of a late peaker. Like I think he's already, if I'm not mistaken, he's already 27, isn't he? 26, 27. Yeah, he's already 27 years old, so he's already a bit of a late peaker. I can see why he's linked to Inter, because he's a direct, pacey, takes on his man 1v1. So I can see, Inter are trying to, I guess, find another Perisic potentially, but to me, he doesn't strike to me as a Inter level player, to be honest. But maybe he's probably deserves potentially a better club than Salernitana, but. Yeah, he's definitely a guy to watch out for. So whoever plays on the right side needs to watch out for him. He gave Quadrado a torrid time against Juve. Tony Villena, some of you guys might remember him if you're on Football Manager or into scouting young players. This guy, Dutch, a few years ago, used to be one of the big talents out of Holland. They didn't quite work out for him, but yeah. Earlier on in the season, he was doing quite well for Salernitana, but he's kind of quietened down recently. Koulibaly is a good all-action midfielder as well. One to watch out for. At least one Koulibaly still in Serie A, exactly. Surely Candreva screamer incoming. Yeah, Antonio, we always have to watch out for one of those. Always have to watch out for a potential Candreva screamer. Bellanova and Aslani, and we're feasting. Yeah, Aslani looks like he's definitely starting. Hopefully Bellanova gets some game time too. Yeah, exactly. Antonio, FM legend, Villena. But yeah, not much quality, but they're definitely. I know last season we beat them 10-0 on aggregate. We were smashing them. We were killing them, but I think it's going to be different this season. It looks like Federico Fazio is not starting, who is one of the slowest players of all time to play football, and Lautaro was killing him last season, so he looks like he's not starting. And overall, they're doing not too bad. Last year, they were one of the worst teams up until January when they bought like half a new team or like a whole new team. They were dreadful, but then they improved. But this year, they've spent money. They've got new ownership. They spend money. They're nicely mid-table at the moment. They have conceded a lot of goals, 14 goals, but they have scored 12. So they have got goals in them now. The main guy really to watch out for up front is that non-Piontek, is this Dia guy they signed from Villarreal. He's been on form. He's got a bit of pace, physicality, but good finishing about him. Pum Piontek doesn't really concern me too much, to be honest. But yeah, apart from that, Maggiore is out for them. He's a big miss for them in midfield. Yeah, not much else to talk about. Of course, it's one of those lunchtime kickoffs. We know, guys. You remember Udinese, the last. Obviously Sassuolo as well was an earlier kickoff, wasn't it? But yeah, these lunchtime kickoffs are always a pain. 11:30 a.m. for me here in the UK, 12:30 Italian time. Always tricky these kickoffs, and we're coming off another intense game against Barcelona. So Champions League teams always suffer a little bit after the midweek game, so you can't ever discount that. The effects of that in terms of energy and juice in the legs. Let me see if I can pull up the running stats from the Champions League website. Because last time we played Barcelona, we covered 124 kilometers, which is a lot. Oh, come on. Just want to go on the Champions League website, and it's giving me pain. Fixtures and results. So let's go match day 4. Where are we? Inter Barcelona. Match info. Was it player stats or team stats? I think it was. No, it's not team stats. No, where is it? There's a one that just shows you. Oh no, I just think it's just there. My bad. Yes, here we are. So again, 124 kilometers covered by Inter. Barca covered 126. My God, such intense matches these have been, both of them. So again, yeah, there's gonna be some after effects for sure from this game. So there's not going to be much energy in Inter's legs, as we said. Dzeko, Lautaro as well, for sure. He's going to be tired from that intense match. So I'm not expecting a swashbuckling champagne football for sure. Dia has 6 goals and assists in 8 matches. There you go. There you go, Mejba. Watched an intense Milan derby. Loved the atmosphere at San Siro. Insane. And loved the game of Politano. So you must be from the Spalletti era. So you must have watched the 3-2 derby, probably the one with the Lautaro penalty and that one, the Vecino masterclass one, probably, and Politano. Yeah. I am an Inter fan from Norway. Been in love with the team since 2010 era-ish when we had Mourinho. I was 10 years myself at the time. Hey, beautiful time to join. Well, then afterwards you had a few years of suffering, so maybe not the best time. But yeah, welcome, Zico. Yeah, hit that like button before we go, guys. Last few minutes, and let's get the match predictions in, guys. I can't wait for our match tomorrow, NL Clasico. Yes, it's going to be a good game of tomorrow is also Liverpool Man City, so good games of football tomorrow. Juve Turin is compensated by Atalanta Sassuolo. Yeah, that should be a better game in theory. Yeah, no, I've really liked Barca. I've always felt like they've been a bit of a hypocritical club, to be honest. I've always been a more lenient. I just always liked Real Madrid more, even though they're the Galacticos and whatever. But I've always liked the Real Madrid more for some reason. Don't know why. But yeah, give me your match predictions. Let's finish up with the match predictions. Someone, I think Ian Kerr mentioned it earlier, Bruce Wayne, the girls, I'll get into women one Milan derby 4-0, so shouts out to them. 3-0 Inter, Mikola, I don't know. I feel like I just don't see that happening. Although we are at home and is, almost sold out San Siro, so they're all going to push us. But I just don't see us having that juice in the legs to be able to pull something off like that. Harry said the same thing, so I started his message from the beginning of the stream. Lautaro X2. Yeah, I'm definitely expecting a Lautaro goal. This is Salernitana, his favorite team to score against. So surely, he's ended his goal drought in general, but his Serie A goal drought still goes on. So hopefully he ends that. 2-0 Yuha says. 2-0 Antonio says the fatigue will show, but we'll manage a win. 3-1 Paki says. Eduardo says 2-0. Ahmad says 3-0 as well. I don't know. I really can't see that like such a confidence performance, to be honest. Yeah, King Dorian's more on the vibe I'm thinking, to be honest. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. I feel like a Piontek or a Dia or a Kandreva sneaking in a weird goal or a goal from distance or something, deflected goal. At least we have 1 week break to get recharged. Yeah, that's true. Good point, Nicola. I think, we don't have a game. We don't have a midweek game now, which is good. So, yeah, that's probably why. Yeah, I think that's probably why he's going to play, Dumfries, Skriniar, Barella, and Martinez, because, we don't have a midweek game. 3-1 Lauti, Dzeko, Mickey. Nice. Yeah, I'll probably, if I am going to say 3 goals, I'll probably have to give 1 goal to Salernitana. Juve fan says, I would say 2-1, fair enough. The clean sheet from great Onana save, that's what we've been missing. That would be nice, yeah. Onana continuing to get some clean sheets. Well, continuing, he hasn't really got. Yeah, he didn't get a clean sheet against Sassuolo, which was a shame. So, yeah, he needs a clean sheet. Kerr Mafia in the house, into 2-1 because Big Heads in fatigue, but therefore a win. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go for something like that. I feel like actually I'll go for 2-0. Onana clean sheet. Confidence for Onana. I think he's gonna make a couple, either 1 or 2 big saves from someone from distance, from a Kandreva rocket from distance. He's gonna make a good save or something like that. I can just see it. And I'm predicting our first penalty of the season. Let's go for that. I think we're going to get our first penalty of the season. I think Hakan, actually, because of the goal drought, Hakan's probably going to give it to Lautaro. But I'm going to go 1 penalty, Hakan or Lautaro to score it. And then maybe Gosens to continue his run of good form. So I'm going to go for 2-0. I'm going to go for 2-0 for Inter, and I hope I am right. And of course, I hope the 3-0 people are right. I hope it's not 4-2, Ian, because that would be a stressful match to watch, but an entertaining match. But we had an entertaining game. We had that Barcelona game. I don't need entertainment from Inter for a little while now. I need boring wins from now on from Inter in Serie A for sure. But yeah, guys, 1 hour match preview. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, Correa is back. Lukaku is not back. Gagliardini is injured. Hopefully we see Aslani. And yeah, quickly on Aslani, I hope people are not criticizing him too much. I saw on Twitter a lot of people criticizing him a little bit too much. We want, all of us want young players to play. Always in my comments, everyone wants young players to play. So if you want young players to play, you have to expect mistakes. And I expect mistakes from Aslani. I expect mistakes from Onana, Carboni, whoever, even from our experienced players. It is what it is. Things happen. He took a bad touch. I don't blame him for shooting. It was just the initial bad touch, closed the angle, great save from ter Stegen. But I want Inzaghi to put the faith in young Christian tomorrow and start him. And hopefully not subbed at half-time. I know he maybe deserved it against Sassuolo, but I hope he's not as nervous this game round. So Salernitana match, man, hat-trick. Yeah, that would be nice. We definitely need a Cortomuso win. Definitely need a Cortomuso win. Exactly, Eduardo. Everyone in this position would have tried to score. It was there. It was right there. But Ter Stegen is a world-class keeper. That big stage, you got to take the chance. Exactly. Thank you, Punzara. Thank you, everyone that joined in. I appreciate everyone that came in, all the new channel members. Yes, actually, by the way, I do owe some donations to the Pupi Fondazione. We've had a lot of new channel members because of... So I'm not gonna... all the new ones that Binvetto gifted the channel memberships, I'm not going to donate for those because otherwise, there's going to be crazy. But I'm going to donate all the channel members that joined, via the join button. So I have a few left over to do. So I'm going to donate them all later today or tomorrow, and I'll be screenshotting that on the community post later. But yeah, appreciate everyone. Channel members, all non-channel members, appreciate you all. Thank you everyone for joining. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, support the channel. See you tomorrow, post-match reaction, be obviously an early one. Ciao ragazzi, forza Inter.